muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone.
Sometimes we just have to let time do its thing. Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to leave it alone and not put any energy into it.
Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth.
Fire cannot burn fire. Water cannot get itself wet. The thing cannot define the thing. It will always be extremely difficult for us to define ourselves, since we are all changing, learning, experiencing, and growing.
What I am really saying is that you don't need to do anything, because if you see yourself in the correct way, you are all as much extraordinary phenomenon of nature as trees, clouds, the patterns in running water, the flickering of fire, the arrangement of the stars, and the form of a galaxy. You are all just like that, and there is nothing wrong with you at all.
All the systems of nature work perfectly, nothing rushes, nothing judges, but yet it all works perfectly. Every single time, you are nature and you work perfectly.
We seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own. For we think in terms of languages and images, which we did not invent but which were given to us by our society.
Many of our thoughts, habits, and behaviors are passed on from our family, society, and culture. Before we take ownership of certain traits and thoughts, let's be mindful of what is really ours.
But I'll tell you what hermits realize. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you come to understand that you're connected with everything.
When we turn off the cell phone and other distractions, we can see, feel, and hear all the natural life around us. We are a part of that life. It's what we were born into.
If you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you'll spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid.
Don't be afraid to hop off the hamster wheel. If you love what you do and you earn a living with it, you are living the dream. If you hate your job and are just in it for the money, it might be time to reevaluate how you spend 40-60 hours of your life a week.
This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is place.
When we engage deeply in our work, it is no longer work. When we have a singular focus on the present, everything is alive, everything is fun.
Philosophy is man's expression of curiosity about everything and his attempt to make sense of the world primarily through his intellect.
Without a guiding belief of how things work, it becomes difficult to put meaning to things. The meaning we put to things is much more important than the thing itself.
To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float.
Having faith doesn't mean having control. Having faith means letting go and still believing it will all work out.
The menu is not the meal.
We've all been to restaurants that have an outstanding menu and below average food. Talk is cheap. Don't let your life fall into that trap.
The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance.
Stop trying to figure change out and just go with it. See where it takes you.
You are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing.
I love this one. We are all part of something much bigger than ourselves. Let's live accordingly.
Things are as they are, looking out into the universe at night. We make no comparisons between right and wrong stars, nor between well and badly arranged constellations.
Stop trying to label and judge. Peace is when we are able to accept and find the beauty in things the way they are.
Try to imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Now try to imagine what it was like to wake up, having never gone to sleep.
I really love this one too. What would life be like if we were asleep, unconscious, and a money-chasing zombie the whole time? No. What would life be like to live consciously, awake, and stay that way?
The more a thing tends to be permanent, the more it tends to be lifeless.
Life is constant change. Life is full of ups and downs. Life is always moving. Anything else is dead.
A scholar tries to learn something every day. A student of Buddhism tries to unlearn something daily. Problems that remain persistently insoluble should always be suspected as questions asked in the wrong way. When we attempt to exercise power or control over someone else, we cannot avoid giving that person the very same power or control over us. So then, the relationship of self to other is the complete realization that loving yourself is impossible without loving everything defined as other than yourself. No work or love will flourish out of guilt, fear, or hollowness of heart, just as no valid plans for the future can be made by those who have no capacity for living now. But the attitude of faith is to let go and become open to truth, whatever it might turn out to be. Never pretend to a love which you do not actually feel, for love is not ours to command. Love is not something that is a sort of rare commodity. Everybody has it. Everyone has love, but it can only come out when he is convinced of the impossibility and the frustration of trying to love himself. Everything that happens, everything that I have ever done, everything that anybody else have ever done is part of a harmonious design. That there is no error at all.